Kind of bothers me that you can't do anything right as night starts.
There's been a slight change of company policy concerning use of the suit. Don't. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suit temporarily unfit for employees. Safety is top priority.
Still don't know what the spring locks are.
Which is why the classic suits are being retired to an appropriate location while being looked at by our technicians. Until replacements arrive, you will be expected to wear the temporary costumes provided to you. Keep in mind that they were found on very short notice, so questions about appropriateness/relevance should be deflected. I repeat, the classic suits are not to be touched, activated, or worn. That being said, we are free of liability.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
As always, remember to smile. You are the face of Freddy Fazbear's team.
Hearing vent noises. Let me move over and investigate. Investigate. Okay, because there's a vent on the left side, I know that chances are... oh, come on, you're here already? Well, I don't anticipate this ending too well.
Hi.
Hey man. You seem oddly, like, out of place in this environment, like there should be some gloss in front of the window or something. You're already here. Nope. Okay, that's good. Okay, I need to pay more attention to this, because it looks like there's an error before it starts doing crazy things. I have this inclination to keep checking the camera as much as possible and to keep focusing on it, but I think I should look at this more often. I'm starting to feel like there's some Five Nights at Freddy's familiar rhythm going here. Oh wow. Okay, I clicked the camera system on accident, but I think it allowed me to click this really fast before anything happened. Fake balloon boy, what is going on? I think it's a fake balloon boy. He might be real, I don't know. Because even when there's no ventilation error, I start seeing weird things like this. Still not entirely confident in my ability to succeed through this night, but we will see what happens. Video error. Not too bad. We're about halfway done. Feels good to actually feel like there's a need to look at the clock again. Because that was one of my complaints with the second game. No good. No good. Audio devices, please stop doing that. Let's alert the entire city of my presence here. Okay, go over there. Shoo, fly, don't bother me. I'm really curious about what that invisible room is. My guess is that it's where all the children are, and where maybe all the old animatronics are. Like the really old ones. But that's just a theory. This is so interesting. Like, I'm feeling the tension, but I'm not really feeling the scare yet. It's kind of strange, because I thought that those two things wouldn't be, like... Those two things don't seem mutually exclusive to me. It's crazy how much I've been thinking about Five Nights at Freddy's lately. It's been pretty much dead set on my mind for a long time now. Because I've had multiple Five Nights at Freddy's dreams lately. One of them was a Five Nights at Freddy's 3 dream, in which I imagined it being kind of a puzzle game. And this is sort of a puzzle game, I guess, but not really. And I guess that it's only fitting Foxy is the character that I play as last, because he's the fan favorite, and it's the worst thing if he dies. But, I keep running into that table. Like, the hitbox on the table is not what I expect it to be. The legs are separate from the top. Let's see if I can die in a different location, at least. Alright, purple guy. The nights haven't been very hard. I've only died once. Which is... I really don't know what to think about that.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
This is just a reminder of company policy
Hello?
concerning the safe room. The safe room is reserved for equipment and or other property not being currently used and as a backup safety location for employees only. This is not a break room. It should not be considered a place for employees to hide and or congregate. And under no circumstance should a customer ever be taken into this room and out of the main show area. Management has also been made aware that the Spring Bonnie animatronic has been noticeably moved and would like to remind employees that this costume is not safe to wear under any circumstances. Thank you, and remember to smile. You are the face of Freddy Fazbear's pizza.
I wonder what costume that is. Whether it's Golden Freddy or whether it's the Weird Bunny thing. And I did find out that the Weird Bunny thing's name is Springtrap, or at least I think that's true. That was kind of on accident from very, very brief, not particularly detailed internet research. Just because I had to know what the spring things meant. And I still don't know what the spring things mean. Oh, what? Okay. Oh, that's another... another fake jump scare. We get to hear more GoldenEye 007 panting. Vents. Gotta look at the vents. Where are you? That's no good. Yeah. You went from that vent to the room very quickly. Alright, well, that is no good. So, the rest of the LP will have its commentary recorded in post, because, as you could see, I tried Night 5 enough that I don't think that I could keep a lot of my live commentary with that, and so I didn't even bother trying. I don't know how long I spent on it, but you could get an idea from all the many jump scares in that last bit. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with this game now because it was really completely unclear to me why I was failing. Night 4 was such a breeze, as were the 3 nights before it. I thought that this game was just going to be really easy, and then Night 5 was this massive difficulty spike. Just tremendous. I couldn't parody a more insane difficulty spike than what I experienced with the game. But then, after looking up a number of strategies and how the phantom animatronics work, and after seeing other people play the first 4 nights, it turns out that I was just really lucky with it, I guess, and they were supposed to get progressively more difficult, and Night 4 was supposed to be really hard, but that just didn't happen to me, and so as a result, I didn't get the same learning experience that a lot of other people had playing the game, I guess. So, it kind of felt like very bad design for me, probably just because I had a very bad experience. Just out of pure coincidence. But the way the game generally works is Springtrap starts before camera 10.
Hello?
You really want to make sure that you have the vents closed whenever he's nearby. The vents are his fastest mode of transport. Balloon Boy appears into camera sometimes. If you see Balloon Boy, then quickly move to another camera. Same with the puppet. If you see the puppet, then quickly move to another camera. The puppet's the most annoying to me because if I see him on the camera, then he doesn't always show up because there's too much static in the way. And so he'll still come into the room even though I didn't see him, and that's kind of a big issue to me. So there's not really a way to respond in that situation. Then there's also Phantom Foxy, who appears in the room, and all you have to do is not look at him directly and then lift the monitor again. Sometimes he will still be there once you lift the monitor on the right side of the screen, but I think that usually it works. And then there's Phantom Freddy. He comes into the room if you don't look at a monitor for too long. Like, if you're not looking at any monitors, then he'll duck down and then somehow teleport into the room, even though he's not supposed to be able to teleport, as is seen by the first Five Nights at Freddy's. But that seems like about it, I guess. If Springtrap appears in the window in front of you, then if you're quick enough, you can make a sound in camera 2, and he'll go that way. It seems like it's a good plan to keep him around camera 8, from my experience. If he comes too close, then 2 is your best bet. If he's at the door, then go for camera 1, make a sound there instead, and there might be a chance of salvaging that. Oh, and there's also Phantom Mangle, who I think only appears in camera 3? But I think, honestly, that part of the reason I had so much trouble with Night 5, even after I kind of figured it out, was this game is probably still glitched at this point. It's at version 1.01, and I ran into a glitch whenever I tried Night 6, which is why I'm not going to play Night 6 right now, at least, in which Springtrap was on the opposite side of the building on the camera. He was at camera 9, I think, and as soon as I lowered the camera, he came into the room and killed me. Like, he was just already in the room. So basically, he was in 2 places at once. That is a glitch. I'm not going to try to beat the hardest night in the game, because there's only 6 nights in this game, if I get screwed over by an obvious bug. So that's a bit of a problem to me, and it might also be present in Night 5, because I feel like there were instances in which there was just total bullfrog with things that weren't supposed to happen happening. That's the main thing that gave me a negative impression of this game, and got me so irritated with it. Once I got past that irritation, I found myself really enjoying myself. I think this is definitely a good installment to the series, apart from that. I wish that the Phantom animatronics were better explained, because they're really not explained at all. I don't think it would have ever occurred to me, just playing by myself, to not stare directly at Foxy and then move back in order to not see Foxy. I kept thinking that the ventilation system keeping that running would prevent me from seeing hallucinations, but apparently that's not the case. All the ventilation system does is keep you from kind of fading in and out, blacking out, which keeps you from seeing things and also allows the Springtrap to come into the room if he's at the door. And sometimes it's in your best interest to just use an audio clip in a nearby room to where you think that the Springtrap is, even if there's an error with the screens and even if you're hyperventilating or whatever. Just taking a blind stab in the dark to get him further away. I was concerned that it wasn't possible to lure the Springtrap away, like further away from the office, but it is. It is definitely possible, and I think if you were really talented with the game, then you might be able to get him from camera 1 to camera 10, but that would be kind of insane. But to wrap up my thoughts on the gameplay and design of this game, I think this is probably the smartest designed game in the series, because everything in this game means something. I just wish that it was more clear and there was more conveyance as to how things work, because there's virtually none, and the explanation that does exist isn't even entirely correct in the game, so it's weird, it's unclear. Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is probably still my favorite. I think it's a classic. And now we're in an unusual minigame in which we are not playing as any of the animatronics, but we are playing as a crying child. The same one, probably, that was in those minigames in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Possibly the child that was abducted by Purple Guy. Speaking of Purple Guy, well, he seems to be having a bad time. Another good thing about me post-commentating this instead of live commentating this is I think I misinterpreted this situation whenever I was first seeing it. But now I think I recognize that the 5 children in the room are dead, and these are their ghosts. And the Purple Guy breathed on the spring lock and is now being tortured within the suit. The Springtrap suit. That's the end of the game. But it's the bad ending. It's not the good one. 5 masks here. I can't exactly tell what the one in the back is, And I tried brightening the image, and it didn't make it any more clear. But as far as I know, it's the golden Freddy mask, for reasons that I will go over later. The 6th night that I mentioned that's the hardest night in this game is Nightmare Mode. And Extra has extra stuff. I'm not really sure why there are 2 buttons that show 2 of the same image of the Springtrap, just one slightly closer up. Because it's almost like it's misleading into making you think that there's 7 animatronics when there's just 6. Unless there are actually 2 Springtraps, which would explain that glitch that I encountered from earlier. But that would be a real cheap move. I have other things yet to unlock. And the minigames are only unlocked through the road to the happy ending, which requires going through all 5 nights again. Yes! Isn't that wonderful?